Can you see me now? Hi, Patrice. Thank you so much for letting me know. I'm like, I don't even know where I left off. Where did I leave off? Where did I leave off? I don't even know. Anywho, yeah, I guess I was having some broadcast problems. It says I'm live now, but I hope it's coming through. How am I? Let me know if you're there. How am I doing? If you can see where I am. And maybe that's good. I just kind of want to make sure I hit on the points that I just need. Option A, I just need guidance from you all on which would you prefer. You can leave it in the comments, or if you could chime in if you join the live. For our celebratory live for reaching 2,000 subscribers over here at Abundant Life Tarot, we want option A, where we do like a Q&A. We could do a Q&A on any questions you want to ask, right? It could be questions on running a tarot business. I run an online tarot business. It could be reading the cards. It could be, what else could it be? I don't know. You can ask questions about me, but I think you probably want to ask me questions about the cards or some deck in my collection, right? I don't know. Or the other option, option B, would be like instead we do a live celebratory thing, and I read cards for you all for that time period, like one question pool, or we could do one or two card pools, or one question, and then yeah, we could do something like that, or I could even bring on someone if we want to do kind of like a fun little uh, dual reading. Like they have their deck, I have my deck, and we kind of tackle a question. I don't know. So I'm open to options too. If you think of an option C, let me know. So hopefully it's coming through. Hello, Kimberly. I'm so happy you're here. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where I left off. And that might be best because I was probably like talking up a storm. I'm so happy you guys are here. And yeah, I decided to do my month in review live because then if I'm to be 100% honest, there's no editing with that. So I just decided, let's just do this. And then I can interact with you right here, right now. That's even better, actually. So that's what we're doing. So month in review for November. So I don't even know where it left off. Let me see. How do I? Oh, this is fun. I do like StreamYard, and I have to again give a shout out to Simon for his patience when he let me get on his channel that time. Thank you for that, because I was like, I don't want to do lives. This is too much. This is too intimidating. But I think I can do it. All right. So I talked about option A, option B for how we want to do our live celebratory Q&A or readings. So let me know in the comments or the chat. Okay. So, and then like I mentioned before, this probably got cut off when I went offline. Hopefully it's coming through clear. I hope. My family, and I apologize, my family is streaming probably some holiday movie on Netflix right now, to be honest. So the internet's probably like, it's like struggle internet. So giveaway is coming up. Has to ASAP because I have some things piling up, prizes that I need to get on the way. So, and then that's just fun. I love giveaways. They're so much fun. And now I have multiple decks to give you guys. And let's see what else. I should mark what I've discussed. So, hello, my peeps. Thank you for joining me if you're just joining me. And we did updates. I talked about. Well, hello, my beautiful Jen. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy you're here. I really am. Because I was like, I don't even know. Like, it's kind of late. I'm West Coast, so I know even like for me at 6:30, that's the start time of the live. I was like, I know other people are like, I'm in bed. Who knows? So thank you for joining me. And so, yeah, I can't believe it. So yeah, we'll be celebrating 2,000 subscribers. And I'm so like I know I could do better about like, oh, rah, we made it. But I just love that it just kind of still feels kind of intimate still at this amount of subscribers. So I'm grateful for each and every one of you, but I'm like, it feels like when I was at like, I don't know, 500 subscribers, I don't know, or 200 subscribers, it just still feels, and I know that people, as they get bigger, they get bigger, but their channel gets bigger, they start to have a lot of growing pains with that. And so I still can relish in the little intimate thing we got going. But yeah, I was just sad that because of my medical procedure, that I couldn't, and just me trying to move and downsize. And it's a good thing. I'm excited. But this whole month, I just had to just take off from YouTube because my readings were coming through the door. My daughter, virtual learning, distance learning has been a challenge. And yeah, so I don't know. It's just been interesting these days. How's everybody doing? How are you all doing? What's going on with you all? Tell me what your November was like, what decks you use, because we're going to get to that in just a moment. I'm just making sure because I'm also combining my updates and then as well as my favorite things. And then I will be resuming my lectures for the Abundant Life Tarot Academy course, the Choosing Your Next Deck course. I will be resuming them in a moment, but right now it's just not going to probably happen till towards like January, which is fine. I'm sure everybody is just kind of, enjoying the holidays, hopefully. And so that's a good thing. So let's now move to my favorite things, my things in my month in review. Now, normally I have something cool, like a random goodie. Like I will say I have a nice random goodie in another tarot bag here. It's got like, I don't have the business card. I'll have to put in the description later. And I did an unboxing of one of my oracle decks I created. You guys know I love to create little oracle decks. I make playing cards. It's this little hobby now that I have. But I needed a bag for it. So I used her bags before. I ordered a bag for the bone stone from her, and things are packed because I'm more on that in another video, me moving and stuff. But it's like got this like, I don't know, it feels like suede, but it's probably like microfiber or something. I don't know. It feels really good, and it's really deep, so your bigger oracle decks can fit. And she makes it like, it's on Etsy. I got it on Etsy, and I've bought other bags from her before, but it's normally like drawstring bags. I don't know if I had another kind of bag like this. Here's the back. Like I thought it coordinated well with my my little oracle deck that I created. I did a little unboxing. I'm gonna put some more unboxings of my little decks that I made on Make Playing Cards. I've been busy, you guys, because there's not much else. Like I sometimes when I'm not feeling well physically or just mentally, like what have you, or emotionally, or whatever. Not usually emotionally, usually like anxiety issues or whatnot, or recovery issues. I don't like to go on social media and just get lost in my real life people's feeds. So, and I couldn't really hang out in the tarot community ones because I don't really want to buy decks right now. So it's just a weird space. So instead, I made decks for myself. This one is called my Sacred Spaces Oracle because I needed a deck, an Oracle deck that complements some of my tarot readings where I want like locales, places, spaces, and time, like the bar, you know. or a gas station. Many things happen at the gas station. Cemetery. And they actually have symbolic meanings. And it was funny because my husband and I went on a walk around the block yesterday morning. And we live in the suburbs of Sacramento. And it's beautiful right now. I mean, all the trees are changing colors. The air is crisp. There's a beautiful little breeze in the air. Sky's bright blue. It's just beautiful this time of year. And, like LA doesn't quite get, Los Angeles doesn't get the kind of seasonal changes we do. But we were just marveling and taking it in because once the sale is actually complete with the house and we move on, it's like a blank slate. We were going to like just see where we go. And it could be somewhere probably far. And I just was in a moment of taking it all in. And so I came home because this was delivered, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, from Make Playing Cards. And I was like, well, Spirit, give me a message. And where we want to go is somewhere tropical and warm because I need warmth, even more than here. Because Sacramento can actually get to a point of like, it can get cold enough. Rare it would ever snow, but it can get cold enough to snow. And that's too cold for me. And it's too expensive to live in like Los Angeles. And I don't really like Los Angeles, to be honest with you. I love the people, of course. And it's beautiful weather. And it's beautiful in LA, honestly. But I'm not an LA girl. Just not. So I said, Spirit, speak to me. Talk to me. Give me some cards. And the cards that jumped was right on. And I was like, okay, yep. You're going to be one I like to use. Hold on, let me find the other one the two cards that jumped for me. Where are you? It's probably at the very end. Isn't it so funny as you're looking for a freaking card, it's like hiding and you could just never like find it? Okay, so one of the cards, because I may just have to tell you, but the effect of it, I need to show you. Y'all have a moment? I hope you have a moment while I search for this. It's like an 80 card deck because I could just not make a tiny one. If you don't pop up, I'm going to go all the way off. Okay. Did it jump? Did it disappear? Well, guys, I don't know. Anyways, one of the cards says suburbs, right? And the other one said poolside. And I was like, oh, I know exactly what it's telling me. It's saying you got some business to handle to close your life in the suburbs. My two oldest sons have moved out and moved on. They don't live here anymore. It's just my daughter, and she's gotten bigger. So I want to be poolside, and I am like, I want to do tarot full time, do my tarot business full time, and that's what I want to do. I bet you, my husband and I, he was over here on my desk yesterday, and he knocked this deck over. I was kind of irritated. I was like, you're disrespecting my cards. And I think this one probably just fell. Oh, well. I'll look for it when we go. See, my intuition tells me it's missing. Anyhow, let's see what comments there are going on here. So poolside. So more to come because there is definitely more poolside action coming in my future, which means there's more time to focus on things such as my YouTube channel. Hello. Welcome, folks who are just joining me. I'm so happy you're here. So we have, let's see what we got. Okay. Hi, Kathy. Oh, it's so great to see you. You know what I mean? Great to see you. I'm so happy you're here. So I'm just going over my favorites, my month in review, because I was like, why not? This is actually the perfect forum for a month in review. And it is busy. The holidays, I see what you guys are saying, is super busy. I don't know. It's just every year it just felt like it ramped up until now it's just like off for me off the Richter scale. Like, and now I'm just like, I'm just gonna focus on what I want to focus on. And thankfully I did do that because now it led me to realizing I was working way too much. And my house is too big for just the three of us. And so I was working way too hard when I don't really need to. And so it, you know, so all of this slowing down, forced slowing down for me, like the Four of Swords situation has been good. I needed it, to be honest, because I was probably gonna run myself into the ground. Hello, Oya's girl, Queen Osset. I'm so happy you're here. I'm like, yay! All my favorite peeps are here. Thank you all for joining me. I was like, I don't know. I'm West Coast time. I might be a little late, but thank you for joining me. So I was just discussing favorite stuff and just checking in to see what you all were up to, what decks you've been loving. I'm a little out of the loop. I know like sometimes I'll see thumbnails on YouTube. I know there's certain decks that are everybody's like talking about. Oh my gosh, is it Our Story? Like I'll see certain decks that are constantly hitting the thumbnails on YouTube on my subscription, tab. Yes, subscription tab. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna watch that. So I have a gang of watch laters, and all of you who are in here who have channels, you best believe your videos are on the watch later list. And now I'm feeling up and at it. My wrist, my radial arteries all feeling like it's healed up. Yay! And I'm ready to view and type. So look out. Let's see what else we got going on. So my random goodies was my health. I just have to sometimes just pause for a minute and just be grateful for my body, my physical body, and not take it for granted. Just be in deep gratitude for it. And I am like, it's recovering just on time. November was just like when my doctor was like, "Oh, I could squeeze you in," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" And I watched hecka YouTube videos about this procedure that I got. It's called a fibroid artery embolization, a uterine fibroid artery embolization. You could, yeah. Anyways, a lot of women were like, "It's painful," and it was. Not the procedure. Procedure was fine. It was afterwards, and the nurses were kind of getting on my nerves. And I was kind of glad that they kind of booted me out due to lack, like the bed situation. I was like, whatever, that's fine. I'm gonna go home, and it was great. I much prefer to be at home recovering. Yeah, I don't like them. I love a nurse all day, every day. They're my favorite. That's like my favorite like profession. I wouldn't do it because I just know I couldn't do it, but I love them. Every time I've been in a vulnerable state, they've been there. But there's some nurses who talk too much, and I'm just like, I just need you to pay attention to the pain drop. That's what I need you to do, man. So to be on the other side of that this week is just amazing. So that's my random goodie. I have no like, like my drum or something like that. Nope. My random goodie is me, my physical body, just like holding it down. Just holding it down. Let me see. Yes, Kathy, it was quite rough because I wasn't eligible. See, here's the thing. I'm very open. I'm like a TMI open book. I have uterine fibroids. Apparently, I probably had them for a while. And some of them are actually pretty large, like this. They're benign. They're like tumors, if you will. But they're causing a lot of problems. And because I'm kind of, I have they weren't, the way they were positioned, they were just causing havoc. And anyways, they had to go. But I wasn't able to be, and thankfully not eligible for a hysterectomy. This is supposed to be a better procedure, an easier thing than getting a full hysterectomy or what they call a removal of the fibroids out, which is called a myomectomy. And I would say, yeah, now today I feel really good, so but tomorrow it could be like, there's sharp pains as they die. Because basically you're cutting my procedure is they went through my wrist up through here, down into here, into the cavity, the uterine cavity, and went to the arteries, the uterine arteries, or I don't know. Yeah, uterine arteries that feed these different fibroids and cut the blood supply, and then they die. And over the next several months, I'm feeling the pain of their death. Not ideal, but less invasive. And ultimately, I will have a much better quality of life. So, sacrifices. Oh, see, thanks, Jen. Thank you for telling me that. So yeah, I share because I'm like, I know there's probably somewhere out, someone that's going through this. And if I could just say, I feel you, I'm there with you. It's not pleasant, but don't, just take one answer, keep pushing for second opinions and things, and know that there can be hope on the other side. So yeah, not pleasant, but what am I going to do? Oh, to be a woman. Okay, so anywho, I have to talk about my crystals. And so here's the thing. All of my crystals mean a lot to me. And that's because in selling a home, I had to pack up a lot of my things, my witchy, magical tarot stuff, and not make it look like that. Like it just is so interesting when you're selling a home. So I had to pack up my crystals, my decks, my cloths whenever people were coming by to view the house. So what I would do is put all my crystals in here in this thing. I don't know if you guys can see it, this like thing. I put all the ones in here that I'm working with all the time in this container. They're on my table right now because we're in escrow right now, but I won't be like counting anything until the deal is like done. But I'm not showing the house. And I may, like when the appraiser and the inspector come by, I may, because they're going to be taking pictures, I may have to pack up all my magical goodness again in a little tiny suitcase I have for it. And these just go in here, and I just kind of, because this looks really pretty when there's a big mound of crystals in here, But so I'm just gonna say I loved all of my crystals. Like, here's my celestial alligator quartz, and you gotta look, strangely, I've been liking my copper, but it's not strange. I've been kind of going through a recovery phase, so I don't know. That's the unique thing that's going on with me and crystals. I love all of my crystals, and actually I'm acutely aware of how much I love them now when I have to pack them all away and hide them. Oh, thank you, Kathy. It is a small, actually, yeah, the uterus is actually and so mine is so distorted and large. So what was happening, this is like TMI, I'm sure, like my kids would be like, what are you doing? It's impacting all the surrounding organs, all of them. That's down in that area. And so it's like, oh, so there's no room. There was no room even for them to be like, for me to have a full bladder even. Then they would get aggravated. It was just a mess last week, actually, to be honest. I was just like, oh, I made a mistake. But then it was like this like today was finally the first day. Like, well, okay, I think I made a good decision. Oh, let me see. Oh, yeah. Let me see. How do I take it down, guys? I'm like, how do I do that? How do I do that? I'm getting used to the stream. This is my first time using StreamYard. So how do I make the little, maybe you all know this. How do I make, can I hide it? Yay! I figured it out. It's easy. Easy peasy. Intuitive. Thank you. So yeah, let me show you. Crystals in my little, oh, dropping crystals. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I broke one of my lepidolites in a haste because one of the buyers that we ended up quickly falling out of escrow with, they were like, we want to, can we come by today? Like in an hour, we want to see the house again. I'm like, oh. And so in a haste, I dropped my lepidolite and broke it. So it's normally this big, like this, right? And then it fell, not ideal. And then now it's this little piece. I can use it still, but I was so heartbroken. I was like, ah! I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. It's not, just go with the flow. Go with the flow. But I was mad. What crystals have you all been using? What you've been using in the last month and going into December? I know, Jen. I know. Yeah, it sucks. I don't like breaking crystals, to be honest with you. Selenite, I'm a little forgiving because it's such a soft stone. But some of my other ones, or even my kyanite, let me actually show you. Like, so this one chips because it's just kyanite kind of naturally kind of like chips away. So it's kind of, what do they call it? Terminated? Can't pronounce that word. But it'll kind of, and so will, not my lepidolite. This is kyanite. Guys, sorry. It's been a long day. I haven't even had any medication today. I think I just still have foggy brain. This is lepidolite. And so this one will kind of shed as well. So these, the kyanite and lepidolite, will do that weird like shedding stuff, which is fine. I'm okay with that. But not my, oh my God, amylite. I feel like because I haven't been doing magical stuff, I mean, except for paid client readings, I feel so away and far from my crystals and my love. My books are off. I sold my shelf. I sold a lot of the books. And I'm digitizing them. I do know what deck or books I have. So they're on my Kindle. I won't talk about those books today, but probably next month in review, we will talk about some of the books I've been able to read and catch up on with my Kindle. But so I feel out of it. So my amylite, lepidolite. Just so you guys know, I don't want you guys running around like, oh, saying the wrong stones. The amylite is the pretty little, like, here's her cousin. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what we got going on. I'm just checking out your comments. Yeah. Yeah. You know what, Jen? Ain't that the truth? They don't warn you. I was just saying that to myself, like literally the other day. I'm like, they didn't tell me any of this stuff. Yeah. They didn't tell me any of this stuff. It's all a surprise. It's all a freaking surprise. So yeah, I get a kick out of this little comment thing. Bye, Kathy. Thank you for joining. I'm so happy you stopped by. Oh my gosh. It's so good to see my friends. Yes. Selling a house is so stressful. And I'm like, how can I make 2020 even more stressful? How can I do that? How can I make it more stressful for myself? Well, let's see. I could sell a house, downsize even, and have a medical procedure a couple of days before Thanksgiving. Yeah. It was crazy. I was getting offers as I'm going off on the stretcher. My nurse was getting annoyed, and something told me to look at the phone. It was I forgot to turn it down or off or whatever. And my realtor was calling, and I'm like, I'm sorry, man, I have to take this call. And I'm taking it, and I'm like, Oh, it was just like last week was unreal, unreal. But I stand in deep gratitude, because I asked for all of this craziness. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, let's see. Yeah. So let's move on to what else we got going on. Crystals, books. Can't talk about books because I left my Kindle upstairs. Favorite oracles. Let's talk about oracles. Okay. So I kind of have to talk about first the tarot that I was loving before I talk about. So yeah, maybe we'll talk about tarot first and not the oracle. I'll just switch it in my notes later. We'll do tarot first. So I know, some people either really love this deck or some people are like, eh. I'm one of the fans of this deck. This is the True Heart Intuitive Tarot. Let me see that. Hopefully there's no glare. Okay, by Rachel True. And I'm sorry, the artwork is. Well, I know it's Houghton Mifflin is the publisher. I was going to look for the artist. Illustrations by Stephanie Singleton. All right, so when on the very rare times in the month of November, I was able to just say, hey, I want to do a quick reading about this situation. So I pulled this deck out. Here's the backs. And I just really, really like it. I like the look of it. I like the feel of it. I know some people do not like the cardstock, but I do. So I guess I'm not too much of a cardstock snob. And it's okay if you are, by the way. I go back and forth. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. So it depends on my mood. Depends on what I'm feeling. But I don't know. This has been such a delight. I have been looking forward to this deck for a long time. I've talked about it ad nauseum. But I had to be honest with you guys. This is what was going on. And then it made me really start to think about my collection, to be honest with you all. Like, I have, I don't know, maybe now 100. Let's just say I have 200. I know I've gotten rid of about like 15 of them. That's still probably 200. I don't know. But now that I have to move and pack and stuff, and I'm really looking at decks I haven't really even touched ever, and then I'm looking at the decks I do touch and I love looking at, even if I don't use them every day. I just like pulling them off and looking at them. That's the collector in me. But then I have my working decks. So I really just need my working decks and the decks that I just get all like swoony over and love. And then the rest, maybe it's time to let them go. So I'm like, oh God, I just was trying to avoid that. So yeah, that's what I've been on. Is this little gem. Let's see what's happening here in the chats. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Patrice. Thank you so much. I know. And I'm like, what I'm hoping for is that all this craziness this year is just going to make for next year to be like smooth sailing. Because I did all the hard crazy. Okay. If I did all the hard crazy this year with all the crazy that's been going on, well, surely we're in store for a nicer ride in 2021. Who knows? Who knows? It doesn't bend too easily. And you're right, Patrice. The one thing I wish, the one thing I'm not a fan of, the stock is cool. The size. If it was a smidge, if it was a hair. Okay, here's my little make plain cards deal. Look at these. If it was a true tarot size, you know what I'm saying? It would be such a dream to shuffle, I think. But it is because it's more square, it makes it a little more difficult and unyielding. Which when people are like, it's crappy cardstock, I'm like, well, it seems a little unyielding to me. And so it holds up to me riffle shuffling it or riffle shuffling. I'm not going to do it now because cards will be flying everywhere. But it also holds up to overhand shuffling well. For me, I haven't had weird, like, sometimes you on the edges of the decks, you'll get the weird little peely thing going on. But it doesn't do that, and I've been using it quite a bit. So my deck, my copy, I think is fine. And I have it in this cute little bag, not by the same creator as the other folks. I have a couple of Etsy bag creators, 3 of them that I kind of like go through their shop, and I periodically look and see what's going on in their shop with their little bag creations. I'm like, what you got? What you doing? So that's one of the tarot decks. The other one I talk about like every single month in review, and you're tired of it, but I have to say this: during the Hay House sale, I did get a backup, and I hate saying that I'm doing this, but I have to be honest. I got a backup copy of the Light Seers Tarot. I already have this copy. I already have the indie version. But I've bent this one so bad because this is my working, hard working deck. Actually, I have a basket here of just my working decks. And so, yeah, I should show you guys what's in here. It's only the decks I'm using for client readings. And this one, above every other tarot deck, is the one I use. So it is bang the hell up. I don't know. On one hand, I don't know, it's super thick, but I love it because it's so good. We work so well together, this deck and I. And I don't want to use my indie version. So, because it's just, that one's also, it's not the easiest to shuffle because it's really thick cardstock. I love this one. So I bought a backup copy. I don't normally recommend it for myself or others to just be buying backup copies all over the place. Because at the end of the day, it's like, really, are you going to really need that backup? Some people do. I know for me, when I was getting backups, it wasn't making sense. But some of the cards I bent so bad in this deck that I'm like, there's going to be a time very soon that I need a new one. So, yeah. I talk about it all the time because I use it all the time. It is in my basket here underneath my table of decks. So when people were coming quickly, I had to like hide my decks real fast. And I still, because the Dust to Onyx, for example, the Dust to Onyx is in that gorgeous box. So that's staying on my shelf as a to the to the stager and the realtor, because they were like, we love that you do tarot. We're cool. We understand. But you might turn off a buyer. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I left like my designer decks out that you couldn't quite tell if you kind of turned it away where it doesn't say tarot or anything on it. I was like, only the most discerning will know what those are. Like, so I was like, the nerve. Yes, I love what Simon says too about the library, because I'm totally into the library thing. Okay, my husband and I, we love books. He has his shelf, I have my shelf, and decks are the same for me. I love to be able. It's like closets too, like for women who are into designer bags and stuff. They may use that bag once. They may never use it, but they might just go and pull it off. They may just pull it off the shelf and look at it, and that's us. We just go through it. Feels good. And if that's all it's going to do for me, then that's all it's going to do for me. But I needed to at least do that. I have quite a few mass market like Hay House decks. Nothing wrong with Hay House. I actually have some deep connections with some of my Hay House decks. Like this one, for example. This one is in my working decks basket right here. So, and it's Hay House, and this is my second copy because the other one had water damage and was worn to hell with its gold gilding that worn off. It was beat up. So I had to get a replacement. But there's some decks I'm like, I think I haven't even used really once. I went through them, flipped through it once, and then I'm like, okay, this was cute. I'll just sit on the shelf. Now I don't have the luxury of that with downsizing and moving. So I had to get over myself about that. But then my husband's been totally cool. He's like, well, if you want to schlep your decks all over the place wherever we go, that's fine. I'm like, okay. Yeah, let's see. You know what? Hi, Juliana. Thank you for joining me. I'm so excited you're here. My goodness. Like I said before, all my favorite peeps. Yes, I may have to trim them, but I'm no Don Michelle from Boho Tarot. I'm afraid I could always get a backup copy too. It's not a big deal, I guess. I don't know. I haven't been paying attention to like if things are selling out quickly, like toilet paper is around these parts. But I could try that. I might do that because it's it's a lower investment here. I could try that. I might do that. I might let this be the first one that I give a go and see if that works. Because I see people when they trim it, it does look quite a little bit, the hair smaller, and I think that'll do. More to come. More to come. Thank you, Juliana, for that suggestion. I like that. I have to put this here so I remember. Okay. Yes, Kimberly. Yes, it is like an art collection because we are collectors. That's what we are. And I embrace it. Like I told my husband, I was like, he's having a hard time with his tools. And like he's made some cool shells for us. And I'm gonna be sad that if he gets rid of them, because I could just be like, hey, can you whip up something for us? Or can you fix this? Can you fix that? And he can. And so he's really struggling. I see him struggling. I'm like, and me over here, I'm like, well, I'm keeping this. I'm a collector. I mean, I told you that. You know I'm a collector, but like I know I know he's thinking like, aren't you gonna make some sort of sacrifice? And I'm like, no. Oh yeah. Oh yes. I will share my working decks. I mean, I won't go through all of them here. I mean, I could just kind of show you kind of what they are, so I won't tie up all our time because I'll show you guys the oracle. Maybe what I'll do is I'll just show you guys a couple of more of my tarot real fast, my oracle. And if we still have a little time, I don't want to keep you all night. Or maybe I'll do a video if you want me to do another live or video, because it is cool like to show it. I wish I could lift the box, but I'm afraid I might blow out my little radial artery. I probably won't. It's like a basket, like, hold on, let me make sure I'm hiding this. It's like a basket like this tall. Can you see it? Like this. So it's, and then it flips open. It's a wicker basket. I actually kind of like it a lot. It makes me feel magic when I flip it open. Like magic's about to happen. So I pull them out. So maybe I might do a video if you guys want to do that. I might even, oh my God, I think I even have a video before. I did like a bunch of video recordings before like this month. I knew things were going to get crazy. So I might have even recorded a video because I was like, okay, I need a basket of all my working decks since we're about to list. And so I said, well, wouldn't this be fun? So I think I did pan. I had a video where I'm panning to the little opening up. You guys, I might have that. So I won't bore you with that today, unless you really want to see more. Let's see what we got going on. Yeah. Just going through the comments here. Hi, Rivers. Ooh, I actually like your picture a lot. I miss my Morgan Greer. My oldest has it. I could get a new copy, and I probably will. Let's see. The Light Seers. Oh, Jen, thank you for saying this. Okay, that makes me feel bad because I'm like, now here I am preaching, you really don't need a bunch of backups. Now, I didn't need a bunch of backup like some of my indie decks because I'm never really using them. So I was like buying like 2 or 3. I'm like, this about 3. I bought like 2. And I was like, girl. And then I just, sold them or gifted them or gave them away or whatever. But yeah. So you make me feel really good about that. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you for the tip. I'm actually going to try it, and I'm not going to be scared. I'm just going to do it because now and then I'm going to be like a fiend on that. Now I'm going to have a new hobby is trimming decks now because I just need a new hobby. Oh, yee! Don't you love when it happens? Don't you love when that happens? So it's like now you can tuck it away, like tuck the extra one away, and just use your cards at abandon. Just use it and not even worry, Juliana. Just use them on that. I won't tell your secret is safe with me. I felt even bad asking them for a replacement, but then after a while, they were so. My first Light Sears mass market was so uneven that when I was shuffle, it was like I work with jumpers. They weren't jumping right; they were clumping and stuff. And so I was like, I gotta put in a request. Hey, house, I'm sorry. I gotta get my money. I got you. You gotta send me a new deck. And they did, and I used the hell out of it. And so my son ended up taking the lopsided one. He's like, I don't care. He does. I don't even know if he does jumpers. My oldest, who's into tarot, I don't know if he does, but yeah. I was like, I can't. I use jumpers, and this is kind of it's preventing that. And I know I was like, I had a feeling like, no, you're a jumper, and it is actually. I like the Light Sears a lot. Chris Ann, great job. Hey house, I'm impressed. I like the tarot size option versus the big massive tarot option sometimes that they do. I'm like, y'all, you busting out my wrist and my hands. I don't like crampy hands after doing a reading. Okay, so tarot, another tarot. It's the Lua Tarot, guys. Like, oh my goodness. Let's see. Yes, Rivers. I will definitely now. I'm pretty sure I did it because I remember saying, I bet people will be interested in my working decks, at least for 2020. And I remember the whole panning thing. So I might even try to post that in the next day with this stuff. Okay, the Lua Tarot. Do any of my peeps have the Lua Tarot? Divinemuses.net is where you can get it. By Marie Bento. She is so amazing. I'm so in love with this deck. It was the other deck I would like go to and like I just want to smell it. I want to be like all up in it for a moment. And it was another deck that I actually consulted the True Heart like for questions. And sometimes it has like a little sharp attitude, but I like it. I like it a lot. This one was more for appreciating the art, when I would just need to kind of just get lost in the cards for a moment. So let me get this out. The Lua. Here's a little guidebook. Oh my goodness. I have her Divine Muses Oracle. I don't have like her other tarot. That's the Queen of Cups. Let's see. You got the deck. And my love, Kimberly, do you go by, because people ask me all the time, do you go by Kim or Kimberly? I go typically by Kim, as y'all know, but I have to ask because people ask me. So it only makes sense. 7 of Wands. And I don't have many, I don't have really a lot of black and white decks. The Devil. I like that. Let me move this. Bye, Jen. Thank you for joining me. I'm so happy you stopped by. Oh my goodness. Now I'm like, now I can say I finally had a live, guys, and that my peeps came by and hung out with me. Finally. But no worries. Thank you for joining. So yeah, here's the Lua. So it has been such a beautiful deck to go through and feel. It even feels like, I don't know, the stock is just like when you shuffle it too. It just, you hear that? You hear that? No. Like, I don't know, rough parchment paper feel or hear sounding. I don't know. It's just weird to me. I can't even describe it. It's so pretty. Bring it close so you can see it. It's nice. Nice. Oh, I gotta show you the star. I've been wanting this deck, and I'm so happy I finally have it. And because I'm moving, I'm a little super nervous about decks. I have one more Kickstarter, and it's the Super Lunaris. I know that was a Depth Year violation deck for sure. I know I was being bad, but I was feeling like, hey, I know I'm gonna feel like I know I'm gonna need this deck, and of course I am. It's gonna come right around Christmas time, so it's totally a Depth Year violation. But I backed it, but I'm worried. I'm hoping that it comes while I'm still like residing here, and it's not gonna like get lost in some like shuffle of like being forwarded to a new address. So that's the Lua Tarot by Marie Bento, and it is just even sometimes without the little thumb area that helps you pull it out. I have no problems pulling it on or off. Where sometimes other boxes without that little help here, it can be a challenge. So that's my tarot. Honorable mention is the Uncommon Tarot. Won't do it like a flip through of this to save time. But another one that I'm just like, I just like to look at the images. I actually have a few that I did that with, a few. We'll talk more about that later. Oracle. The Enigma, which is a card playing game, actually, not really an Oracle game, but it's by Daniel Martin Diaz, and I brought it from Amazon. And it has a paper printout guide, which I don't have here. It's upstairs. But I use this deck actually with the True Heart Oracle. I use this deck or another one I'll show you in a minute. For some reason, this works as a great tarot combo between this and the True Heart Intuitive Tarot for me. Doesn't necessarily, maybe the images do not necessarily go, but the dynamic of how they work together for me just plays. And I really like this. Here's the backs. I really like this deck. I used it a lot earlier this year and not so much. And I need to actually record my top decks of 2020 videos now. I started recording a couple of them and I need to continue. And I can't remember if this one was in the category. Can you see that? The Omen. Yes, hold on. Let me look at these comments. Let's see. Yes, the Lua, so beautiful. I just really like it. Yes, Depth Year. That was one of the videos that I had recorded right before all of this, like in late October and then November. I was like, I can't even publish this. I had a fall. I fell off the wagon. So I ended up backing the Super Lunaris because I was like, I can't let it go. It just can't. That's just gotta have it. And so then my husband was like, you're the only one posting all of this on yourself. So I had a couple of like slip ups, obviously. What was it? The Uncommon was another like depth. I call it a Depth Year violation on my spreadsheet. So it's a DP Depth Year DYV Depth Year violation. But you know what? I actually have quite loved them. So I'm getting along. So what I end up deciding to do, folks, is with my Depth Year is I was like, okay, just this whole year is going to be lo-fi. So I'll talk more about that in my update video. The whole year will be 2020 will be lo-fi, and then where I'm probably traveling, where we're thinking about going, we're just kind of kicking around different ideas right now. I may have to be definitely no buy just out of sheer just necessity, because I'm not going to be able to really be settled in a spot long enough to have decks be shipped. I could have it shipped to my mom's house or something like that, or a post office box, but I'm not going to do all that. So the fun is winding down. So I might do like 6 months of no buy in 2021, just because I was planning on carrying my depth year into the first 6 months of 2021 anyway. So yeah, that's how I'm doing on my depth year, y'all. That's how it is. I'm like I said, I'm an open, honest book. It is what it is. It's the truth. But I have bought not nearly as many decks as I normally do. I was set to probably spend quite a bit on decks this year, and I only spent maybe a quarter, not even of that, of what I was spending year over year on decks. So that's good because I ended up having to spend a lot of stuff, money on preparing the house for sale. So that worked out. And then the Roots and Wings was the other Oracle deck that I used with the True Heart Intuitive. The Roots and Wings mini Oracle deck. And this is by Kat Riales. I got it on Etsy. And I really, really like this deck a lot. I had it. Well, yeah, I'll just show you here. Let me just show you. Stop yapping. Here's the backs. Here, let me hide that so we can make sure you guys see them. Yeah, did I ever do a walkthrough? I did do an unboxing. I hope I published it. I hope I publish that. If I have it, I will. See what I'm saying? Like, I've recorded so many videos, you guys. It's like not even funny. It's like now it's getting ridiculous. Now it's like it's almost like, do you have an issue, Kim? Like, why can't you publish your videos? Like, I need an assistant to just kind of publish them for me. One of my children. And I'm just catching up on the chat. Let's see. Julian says, I threw Death Year out the window in June. I ain't mad at you, and I get it. Because it's like, if you get to a point like at 6 months too, like where you're like, okay, I at least set out and did something. I curtail my spending. I'm now more conscious about what decks are coming through the door. I am aware of my spending habits, my collecting habits. I'm now much more of a conscious consumer, and I will be more thoughtful about my deck purchases in the future. If you got that, and a lot, folks don't necessarily need a depth year. I just was like I was on a track of like just going kind of willy-nilly, and now I'm seeing like I have a whole case of decks. That's another video that I don't think I've done yet, but I will if I haven't. I might have, I don't know. That I have I have certain containers. I have 2 containers. One of obviously my working decks, but another one of decks that I haven't used, haven't touched, and I'm just like, what am I going to do with you? So I put those in a container to decide what I'm going to do with them, because I don't know what I'm going to do with them. But those were decks during like a time of where I was purchasing them willy-nilly, and I'm like, well, let's see what's going to happen. And some would make the argument, well, you might use those decks later. You might come back to those decks later if you give them away, you sell them, you donate them, whatever you do with them. But I'm like, maybe I won't. And so it's to be, a collector. It's rough out here. Ooh, Rivers, I can't wait to see or hear what you think about the deck. You have to come back and let me know, because congratulations on backing your first deck, by the way. That's exciting. It's exciting, actually. I'm getting goosebumps for you. Now I'm just like, oh, had at it. I'm like, okay, well, I think I'm going to go ahead and back this one, because I don't want to chance it and this or that. I'm a little jaded. Now, I actually have had wonderful Kickstarter experiences. I know that there are folks who've had some challenges with Kickstarter, but I've actually been the fortunate one who's had a pretty delightful Kickstarter experience throughout. So I'm lucky in that regard. So congratulations. Let me know what you think. Yes, yes, yes. Check it out, Patrice. I did. I was like, I couldn't wait. Like, because I had to show you guys, I had to like start playing with her right away. I had to start playing with her right away. So I did an unboxing and showed it to you all because I knew it was going to have to be in a month in review. So I just knew I was going to love it. Yes, I am a Julian. Thank you. See, you just coming here and just dropping just jewels and wisdom. Thank you. Yes. I can schedule it, and that is exactly what I'm going to do. The only reason why I wasn't for a long time was because I would just have to sync them up with my blog because I like what I like to do is weird and I don't have to do this. I really don't. I could do this another time, but I like to have when I publish a video on YouTube, I then like it to go to I like to publish it also on my WordPress site. And I could also schedule that as well. So I could just spend a day just drinking like a cool little drink like this and just schedule them all and then not even blink. I really could do that. And I used to do that back when I first started blogging way back in the day. Like in 2012, 2013 on my first blog. I would schedule them all the time. But then I was like, I got away from it. Note taking. Hello, Brienne. Thank you. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you. Thank you. I'm feeling a lot better. Now, if y'all would have saw me last week, woo, it was matted hair. It was like she was looking a little rough. She was looking a little rough, but today I am feeling better. Let's see. No worries. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. It is exciting times. Oh my gosh. Okay, so here is the Roots and Wings. And like I said, here's the backs again. And the font here is kind of tiny and it's in cursive, so that can be hard for some eyes. That was another thing that happened, and y'all are gonna get a kick out of this. November, I bought my first pair of little readers. My eyes are starting to do that weird change thing. And I was like, oh no. So I got some cute, they're upstairs because I was reading a book, trying to read a book last night until I fell right asleep. They're upstairs, but they're cute. And I'm like, ooh, I like wearing little glasses. It makes me feel sad, just like, I don't know, it just kind of changes the look a little. And cursive writing, that font, that's what I was saying. I got all on a tirade. It's kind of hard on the eyes, but I really like this text still. It's always just so sweet with its messages, on point, accurate. It works. It plays well with a lot of my decks. I travel with this deck because it is in a 10, and then the little guide is like right here, just so it travels well, and it plays nicely with my White Sage my White Sage Tarot. This one, the True Heart. Let me see. So, and they actually, kind of just work really well together. And I really like this deck for it's the one I travel with. So if I'm with my husband, I'll like maybe do a little draw for us when we're out, like staying at an Airbnb somewhere, and I'm like killing time. So it's a sweet deck. It really is. It really is. And it goes everywhere with me. In my backpack. This one. So that's my oracle. I think that's it for the oracle and the tarot. I don't have a lot, actually. Because, like I said, it was work. So yeah, let's see what's going on. Oh, let's see. So that's been what's going on with me in the month of November. December, I don't know what's going to happen. I know I don't have any medical procedures scheduled. Yay! And I know that all I'm going to be really focused on probably at this point is just publishing some videos. You know, those end of the year videos we like to do over in Tarot Tube, like, oh, what was our top decks? And then I'm just hammering out readings, like the New Year's readings, my faves. So more on that to come as well. I have a video where I share my own personal reading that I did for myself earlier in the year, like in 2019 for 2020, and then how some of the predictions have panned out and came about. And it's been interesting. Just super accurate. And I don't know. I don't know. And so, yeah, any of you all getting a New Year's reading or doing New Year's readings in your shops? And are you busy yet? So far, it's like I haven't advertised, so I just kind of like my regulars are coming through. They know to get in early with me, so they've already come. So I kind of like that, but I haven't been advertising. But I plan to start because at night I'm just gonna do tarot stuff, and the day moving stuff. Fun. I need tarot stuff to counterbalance the rough stuff of moving. Ooh, hi Mangoes and Books. Thank you for joining. Let me see what you got going. I've recently done your new to the collection interview spread and it has been so helpful. You're welcome. I'm so glad you used my spread. I know okay. I'm glad you mentioned that, Mangoes and Books, and I love your name, by the way. So I did, and so I actually have some videos where I did do some of those, use that spread for some of my decks that came into my collection that violated my depth year. And you'll then understand like why I was like, well, the cards said, I mean, the spread said that this was going to be a perfect fit. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, it was real too. It was like, well, girl, it's going to take you a minute to get to it. I didn't realize for some of my decks, it was because I was just going to be so physically not able to play with my decks for a minute. It's kind of sad because I love them still. I know we all kind of fall in and out of not love, but just in and out of like, yeah, I guess love with our collection or with our tarot habits. And it's natural, it's the ebb and flow, but it's frustrating when you still love it and you're not that tired of it. Same with me and YouTube. I'm still loving it and I'm not tired of it. But then my life has caught up with me. My personal life has caught up with me. My body caught up with me. It was like, no, you need to take care of some things right now. So I was like, oh, okay, fine. I have to go on a slight hiatus. And I don't like hiatuses right now. I like this, hanging out with you guys and creating content. So that's okay. I think I'm back. I feel good. I hope y'all feel good too. Take good care of yourselves. Yeah, I want to make this like a regular thing. So let's come back again and check in with each other and make sure we're all doing good. Let me see. Ooh, a New Year's spread. Okay. So check out, I did record a video and I am going to publish it. And that was actually queued up. I even have the blog post ready for it. It's like just ready to be published. It's just ready for the girl to hit publish. That's it. So it does. I actually have some New Year's spreads. Sometimes I just do a 12-month spread and just see what the tarot and oracle jump, like a couple of cards of each, like maybe one tarot, one or two oracle for each month. Or I actually have other ones. I have other spreads that deals with specific areas. So I have a couple of videos that talk about those spreads that I do for clients, that I did for myself, that I do for myself every year without fail. Without fail, I always do my 12 months, my forecast for the year, and I do it in areas of like, I'll do a 12-month general life forecast. I'm just talking about myself. I'm not talking about for my client readings for a minute, but just for myself. I do a 12-month forecast in general life, my business, and then I was for a while for my analyst job, but I guess I'll let the cat out of the bag. that's going to probably be phasing out soon because there's just too much going on with with my life. So um more to come on that as well. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing. But the other thing that I may do is specific areas that I want to focus on. I might pull one or two cards for love for the new year, but that's not usually necessarily my go, like my focus for new year. Usually it's focus, like I want to look at my business, or I want to look at, um, I think usually it's business actually when I think about it, and maybe fit like just life, like life changes. So I have spreads that are more geared towards that. But yeah, I will share with that. I will share with you in a video because I did record a video and it's probably just waiting for me to publish. Oh, Patrice, I love hanging out with you too. Oh my goodness. I'm like, if I would have known all this fun over here, it was just okay. I'll be honest with you two for a while, like way back when I tried it a couple of times in the past, it was like, there's like all these people coming in that are like not in our group. And I'm like, who are you? And you're saying these weird, crazy comments. And I'm like, oh, the trolls. And I'm like, it's too much. It's too much. But now I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. This is nothing. I can deal with this. Because it's not going to keep me away from my people. So that's what I tell you. So yeah. So thank you all for joining me today. I'm not going to keep you all here all night. We'll see. My goodness, I kept you long enough, right? Oh my goodness. So stay tuned for more of the videos. Like I said, I'll just be kind of publishing since I recorded a buttload of them. I can now just go ahead and publish them. And then you'll wonder why, oh, she's wearing the same shirt. Or, oh, like, okay, she talked about that in her live. It did. So, all right, guys, unless you have any other questions or anything else, I'm going to sign out and touch base with you all later. And yeah, November was a wild ride, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. But I have a feeling that, yeah, December, I don't know. Let me not even say I have a feeling. Let me just say this, that every day I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my, like me waking up in the morning, right? I'm grateful for the people in my life. And that includes my community here. I'm super grateful for you all because there were times, you guys, where it would just be really tough. Just as you all know, it's just really tough. And then I'll see a comment that comes through, or I'll watch a video of one of the tarot creators, and I'm like, wow, you guys get me, and I get you, and it's just, I don't know, I'm so grateful. So I just know that every day that if I'm sitting in this gratitude of what we have here, that more of it will come, right? More of it comes. So I'm going to stand in gratitude right now. I don't know what's coming at us or what's going on in December, but what I know right here, right now, is I'm grateful for all of you. Thank you for joining me today. If you're watching it on the replay later, thank you for watching. And I'll catch up with you all later. All right, guys. Good night. Take care.